I just landed in Barbados in Virgin Atlantic's latest upper-class suite. Is it as amazing as they say? Let's find out.
Welcome to the channel. I'm Anthony, and with over 20 years of business class flying and more than 1 million miles in the air, I've seen just about everything at 35,000 feet.
Cabin crew doors to automatic cross-check.
Here at Doors to Automatic, I bring you in-depth, honest reviews of premium services from airlines around the globe. Love travel, aviation, or just chasing the thrill of the skies? Hit that subscribe button and come along for the ride.
My journey started at London Heathrow Terminal 3. I arrived by car and used the upper-class wing. The wing is an exclusive entrance reserved for upper-class passengers and Virgin Flying Club Gold members. A check-in agent and porter welcomed the car and escorted me through to a check-in desk. The baggage allowance was 2 checked bags, each weighing up to 32 kilograms or 70 pounds, plus 2 hand luggage items up to a combined weight of 16 kilograms or 35 pounds, and a personal item such as a laptop bag. The hold luggage was tagged priority. Check-in completed in just a couple of minutes. It was then a short walk across to the private security lane. The security channel had the latest scanners, so no need to remove laptops or liquids from hand luggage. From the private security lane, you emerged at one end of the main security screening area and then walked through duty-free shopping to get to the main departure lounge. It was 7:30 in the morning and the terminal was starting to get busy. Upper-class passengers had access to the award-winning Virgin Atlantic Clubhouse, which was located above the American Airlines Admiral Club at Lounge H. After a welcome at the front desk, I headed to the brasserie for breakfast. Menus were available online via a QR code, with a range of breakfast options on offer. But the staff quickly brought over printed menus and took my order. A pot of tea and a glass of champagne arrived pretty quickly. And then the clubhouse breakfast with poached egg and no mushrooms. I always enjoy the clubhouse breakfast ahead of a morning flight. Breakfast over, I moved to a more relaxing area of the lounge where another glass of champagne was served. I was heading on holiday after all. The clubhouse wasn't too busy, with plenty of spare seating options. Back in July, Virgin announced a multi-million-pound refurbishment of its clubhouses. The renovations at Heathrow were starting to get underway. From the window of the lounge, you could see the aircraft at the gate in the distance. The return upper-class fare cost £3,815, which was 45.4 pence per mile. I would earn 400 tier points and just shy of 54,000 Virgin points. I booked the flight 8 months in advance. Even then, all the window seats on the left-hand side of the cabin were already taken. These offer the best views of Barbados as you come into land. An announcement was made that boarding had started for the flight, so I headed to the gate, which was about a 5-minute walk away. If you're enjoying the review, please do give it a thumbs up. On arrival at the gate, I discovered boarding hadn't actually started. The aircraft was an Airbus A330-900neo, registration Golf Victor Juliet Alpha Zebra. Called Billie Holiday, it was 3 years old. There were no views of the aircraft from the gate, but on arrival in Barbados, I got some good shots. Boarding finally started about 15 minutes later, with upper-class passengers called forward in boarding group 1. Upper class was in the front cabin of the aircraft with 32 suites in a 1-2-1 configuration. I was seated towards the rear of the cabin in window seat 7 kilo. The seat was a Thomson Vantage XL Plus. It had a width of 22 inches and reclined to form a 76-inch flat bed. It was comfortable with plenty of space. Beside the seat was a fixed counter, above which was a storage compartment. On the counter was a universal power socket and USB-A and USB-C ports. Above this was a wireless charging mat. On the counter were controls to adjust the seat. Below the counter was a storage compartment. The edge of the counter flipped open to reveal a control for the entertainment system. On the counter were an amenity kit and a menu, more on those later. Soon English sparkling wine, juice and water were offered. If you're enjoying the video, please do subscribe to get notifications about future reviews. In front of the seat in the footwell was the bedding. Above this was a fixed 17.3-inch high-definition entertainment screen. Overhead were reading lights and individual air vents. There was also plenty of overhead luggage storage space. Whilst waiting for departure, a member of the crew confirmed my pre-ordered meal. An amenity kit was provided. It contained socks and an eye mask, creams and lip balm, earplugs, toothbrush and toothpaste. There was a delay to the departure as 2 passengers had to be removed from the flight for medical reasons and their hold luggage offloaded. Wi-Fi was available on the flight and was activated whilst we were still on the ground. It provided respectable download speeds of 48 megabits per second.
Hello there.
Eventually the safety video was played.
Virgin Atlantic. Thank you for flying with us today. You're no doubt keen to lose yourself in our dazzling world of entertainment.
The aircraft required de-icing before we could push. We pushed back from the gate over an hour behind schedule. The upper class cabin was full and there were 254 passengers in total on the flight, meaning there were just 8 spare seats. We taxied from the gate across the airfield to take off from runway 27 left. We arrived at the runway at 11:20 AM, an hour and 40 minutes behind schedule. As we take off, I've got to give a huge thank you to the incredible supporters in the Doors to Automatic cabin crew. You're the ones who keep this channel flying. For just £4 a month, you get early access to reviews plus exclusive behind-the-scenes content you won't find anywhere else. If you want to jump on board and be part of the cabin crew, head over to Patreon and join us. The flight time from London to Barbados was scheduled to be 8 hours and 40 minutes. After takeoff, I checked out the entertainment system. OK headphones were provided, although you could also connect your own headphones via Bluetooth. The entertainment system included 108 movies, 136 television series and 896 audio albums. Within 15 minutes of takeoff, a hot towel was provided. Then drinks orders were taken. A range of beers and cider, spirits and liqueurs and cocktails were available, alongside wines. More on those later. I opted for a mojito, which was served alongside a bowl of Virgin's exclusive Bloody Mary Chris from Savoursmiths. Then the meal service started. On the menu was a choice of 2 starters, butternut squash and ginger soup, or chicken and smoked garlic terrine. 3 main courses, chicken 2 ways, baked cod or roasted aubergine. For dessert there was a choice of a gingerbread pine cone or sticky toffee pudding. Finally there was a British cheese plate. An additional 7 main courses were available to pre-order online in advance of the flight. The table slid out from under the counter and then folded across. It could be adjusted backward and forward. A cloud-shaped mat was placed on the table rather than a tablecloth. A crew member then laid the place setting and offered water and wine, and a choice of warm bread rolls. A linen napkin and metal cutlery were provided, but no separate bread knife. Soon the starter was served. I opted for the butternut squash and ginger soup with sourdough croutons and crispy sage. It was tasty with the ginger flavour coming through. During the meal service there was some turbulence. For main course I pre-ordered the cauliflower, sweet potato and chickpea curry. It was fairly light and a different type of meal option. For those less adventurous, there was the chicken two ways, which was an oven-baked chicken breast and a cream herb chicken mini pie served with broccoli, carrots and chicken jus. For dessert, I chose the sticky toffee pudding with pouring cream. Overall, I thought it was a nice meal with a good selection of different options. Accompanying the meal was a selection of wines. There was an English sparkling wine and Lauren Perrier champagne, a choice of 3 white wines, 2 red wines and a rosé. The average price per bottle was £21.75, or just over £17 if you excluded the fizz. There were 3 toilets around the upper class cabin, 1 at the front of the aircraft and a further 2 at the rear of the cabin. They were a pretty standard aircraft size. Wren premium toiletries were provided. A baby changing table folded down from the wall. Back in the cabin, I checked out the suite a little more. A door pulled across to provide privacy. The seat had a good width and reclined with a calf rest raising so you could relax. A pillow and soft duvet were provided. As I relaxed watching some TV, a cherry pie in the sky ice cream was offered. Snacks were also available throughout the flight. At the rear of the cabin was a social space called the Loft. It felt a bit like a doctor's waiting room and was not the type of social space the bar on the older A330-300 aircrafts provided. If you're enjoying the review, please do leave a like, subscribe for future reviews and let me know what you think of the service in the comments. About 90 minutes prior to landing, the signature mile-high tea was served. This consisted of a choice of sandwiches and a warm quiche, some cakes and a scone. A glass of English sparkling wine was also offered. It was a good snack, although I still preferred the hot food options that Virgin used to offer. Soon we were preparing for our landing. We flew over the island and turned to land from the west. I was on the right-hand side of the plane, so didn't get the best view, but there's a link on screen now to a previous landing filmed from the left-hand side of the plane. Overall, I enjoyed this flight. The ground experience at Heathrow was very good, with check-in in the upper class wing very efficient. The clubhouse experience was as good as ever. However, it was annoying that upper class passengers were told to go to the gate as boarding had started. In reality, I could have spent another 15 minutes in the lounge. On board, the service was very good. It was efficient, but did lack the buzz you once felt flying Virgin. There was a broad selection of food and drinks. The entertainment system worked well with a good range of content. It was handy that you could connect your own headphones via Bluetooth. The Wi-Fi also performed well throughout the flight. The suite was excellent with a comfortable seat, plenty of space and a door providing privacy. Overall, I did rate this flight and thought it was good value for money. It was up there as one of the top flights I flew in 2025. You can find out more about those comparisons in this video. Let me know what you think of the Virgin experience in the comments. And please do subscribe for future reviews.